Well, hey, everybody. I hope you are having a fantastic Christmas weekend, celebrating and having a great time. Our friend Mike Foster is here to wrap up our series on Advent, and he's going to be talking about peace. We have a few announcements. Garden Music is going to lead us in worship, and Mike will be right back with the message.
Said the night wind to the little lamb, do you see what I see? Way up in the sky, little lamb, do you see what I see? A star, dancing in the night with a tail as big as a kite. With a tail as big as a kite. Said the little lamb to the shepherd boy, do you hear what I hear? Ringing through the sky, shepherd boy, do you hear what I hear? A song, high above the trees, with a voice as big as the sea, with a voice as big as the sea. Said the shepherd boy to the mighty king, do you know what I know? In your palace wall, mighty king, do you know what I know? A child shivers in the cold. Let us bring him silver and gold. Let us bring him silver and gold. Said the king to the people everywhere, listen to what I say. Pray for peace, people everywhere, listen to what I say. The child, sleeping in the night, he will bring us goodness and light. He will bring us goodness and light.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Church Online. We hope that you had a safe Christmas and are still celebrating the birth and the hope of Jesus this weekend. It was so good to see many of you here at church on Thursday afternoon for our Christmas Eve services together. Thank you for joining us. And we hope to see you again soon at an outdoor church service in January. So come on out to Church in the Park next Sunday, the 3rd, at 8:30 a.m. or 10 a.m. And we've got a special New Year's message planned to start the year off right. And remember, the 10 a.m. service has a really fun mini kids message at the end. So bring the whole family out to the 10 o'clock service. I'd like to thank everyone who has given to the Impact Offering, or you've made an end of year contribution this December. If you haven't yet, please don't miss this opportunity to make a difference in someone's life. We have an amazing chance to reach our city through the 2020 Impact Offering. All the money given to the Impact Offering goes outside the walls of this church to love people in real and tangible ways. Watch this video to see what we were able to accomplish together this year.
In the midst of this pandemic, there is such a need here in San Diego County. The church at Rancho Bernardo is stepping up yet again.
This is an opportunity to really reach out and help those who are affected in the community.
The church at Rancho Bernardo held what they called Good Neighbor Day.
The congregation with the church at Rancho Bernardo have stepped up to help others who are facing a food shortage. And their campus pastor has stepped up to help really coordinate all of that efforts.
Your help is needed now more than it has ever been needed. And you all are coming through in such amazing ways.
What you guys have done for us is absolutely phenomenal. The generosity of your congregation is unbelievable. It's blown me away when I got here. Just what you guys do every quarter for our kids, and I'm just like, holy mackerel. It's just amazing to me. So I'm super thankful.
I'm very thankful for the faith-based community. I'm thankful for everything that you're doing to help support our efforts. I see outside your facility today, you're actively doing a food drive. Please keep those supplies coming. We're going to need them.
The one thing I love about the Church of RB is that it's a church of faith, and that faith generates action. You don't live in a building, you live in the community, and you bring your faith to the community.
I just want to thank you guys. We love partnering, and you guys are doing such great work there, and we really value that partnership. It's those kind of partnerships that are going to help us weather the storm.
So it's not too late to participate in both the impact and end of year giving. You can give through one of the options on our website, or you can drop a check in the mail, or you can come by the church and drop it off here before the end of the year. Your financial gifts, they matter more than ever to fund the ministry and to make a meaningful impact in people's lives. If you have any questions or need any assistance making a financial gift, please don't hesitate to contact us. We are here to help. Up next, Mike Foster wraps up our Christmas series with part 4 of Advent. Enjoy.
Hey friends, I'm so glad you're here as we wrap up our 4th week of looking at the Advent and looking at the different themes of Advent, of hope, love, and joy. And today I want to talk to you about peace. By the way, I should say, I hope you had a really wonderful Christmas. I know it maybe looked a little different this year, but I hope you had some great time drinking hot chocolate, remembering Christ's birth, and just having some great conversations with your friends, loved ones, and family. And so today, as we look at this 4th theme of peace, it's something that I think a lot of us right now maybe are not experiencing in our lives, that maybe there's a lot of anxiousness and stress and worry. And so this theme of peace and Jesus bringing peace into the world and bringing peace into our lives may be an important message that you need to hear right now. There's a story that happened 200 years ago, and there was a priest named Joseph Moore, and he's walking at night on the streets in the streets of Austria, and it's quiet. It's a beautiful night. The air is crisp, and as he's walking, he begins to write these words, these famous verses that I'm sure you have heard before. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright. Round yon virgin, mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. It's one of my favorite Christmas songs, and it probably is one of your favorites too. And I love that line at the very end where it says, sleep in heavenly peace. To experience a heavenly peace in our lives is what we are all wanting, just to have Christ and Jesus and the sense that he is in control at all times. where we can lay our worries at his feet and we can hand our struggles to him and know that he is with us, that he is here, that he is working on our behalf, and so we can experience that peace of that silent night. Here's what I know is that the problems around you right now are no match for the God within you. And that's a promise that you can hold on to today. No matter what's going on, no matter what the storm looks like, no matter what the chaos looks like. I love that the priest Joseph Moore wrote these words about silent night and finding heavenly peace after a time, and this was just short after the Napoleonic Wars, where there had been war and division and violence and disruption. And he writes about this silent night, about finding heavenly peace. And I think for us right now, leaning into God's heavenly peace, what does that look like? And how do we embrace that? And how do we welcome it into our hearts and into the deepest parts of our souls where we feel chaos? Maybe we feel a war inside. Maybe there's things that are happening in your marriage or with your family that are just shaking you up. And you're just crying out like, if I could just have some heavenly peace. God says it's yours for the taking if you want it. He says this in John 14:27. He says, peace I leave with you. My peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled and do not be afraid. He's talking to his disciples about this time that he's about to be crucified and leave the world. But he says, I am going to leave you peace. And peace in the Hebrew language is the word shalom, and it's a big word. I know it's a word that for us, like peace is just maybe something that we throw out, we hear, but shalom is really a big, enormous word, a big concept in the Hebrew language. And this whole idea of wholeness and a deep sense of calm that permeates all of life. And we can have this kind of peace, not shallow peace or not little bits and pieces of peace, but God is saying you can have shalom, wholeness, peace that permeates every aspect of your day and your afternoon and your evening, that peace that can permeate every aspect of your family and your relationships and your finances. You can have this peace. That is the gift that Christ brings to us. Shalom, wholeness. You don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be stressed out. You don't have to be worried anymore. You don't have to be wondering how you're going to get through the next month or pay your bills or whether you're going to hold on to your job or not. Jesus says, I leave you peace. I leave you shalom. Yeah, for a lot of us, I think a lot of times our life feels like this snow globe. And I was in New York a couple years ago, and I bought this little snow globe at Bloomingdale's, and it's this really beautiful picture of New York City. And if you know snow globes, the key to snow globes is you got to shake it, right? And when you shake it, at least for this one, it looks like it's snowing, and it gets all these little pieces start moving all over the place. Well, one of the things that happened with this snow globe is kind of sad is, we got the Empire State Building in here, and then the Brooklyn Bridge was in the snow globe, but we shook it so hard one time that it broke, and the Brooklyn Bridge is just sort of floating around the globe right now with all the snow. But sometimes life feels like somebody has come into your world and just shaken your Brooklyn Bridge, shaken your snow globe, and things are breaking. Things are coming apart, and it just feels chaotic, and you can't see, and it feels confusing sometimes. It feels anything but peaceful. We're not experiencing shalom at all. And so let's just get real practical here for you. As you're sitting there watching, as you think about your life and your story, as you think about this season that you're in, who or what is shaking your snow globe? What is compromising your peace right now? Is it a relationship? Is it an idea or a concept? Are you struggling with fear and anxiety about the future? Is somebody in your family that's sick or hurting or suffering? And your snow globe just feels like somebody's just shaking it up. And it's hard to know what to do and how to respond or how to move forward, and you're maybe laying in bed at night wondering, like, I'm not experiencing any heavenly peace right now. God says, hey, whatever you're going on in your snow globe today, hand it over to me. I'll take it. Whatever's shaking you up, whatever's disturbing your peace, whatever's making your heart feel heavy, God says, hand it over to me. See, stress and anxiety and worry are an invitation to give God the things that you cannot handle. And my guess is there might be some things in your life right now that feel overwhelming, that you can't handle right now. God says, give me your snow globe. Let me take it. Now here's 3 myths that we often think about peace and how it expresses itself. Number 1, I think sometimes we believe that peace is found out there, that I can experience peace by some external solution. There's something that if I just had more money, or if I just get that job promotion, or if I just get that thing, or if I just find someone special in my life who I can date or marry, then I will find peace and then I'll be settled. But peace isn't found in external things. Peace is found in the shalom of Christ. It's an inside job. It's not out there. Number 2, another myth that I think we believe about peace is that it is determined by our circumstances. That, once my life gets all in order, once everything falls into place and it's all aligned correctly, and my circumstances are good, then my life will be peaceful. But I think a lot of us have probably been in moments and can reflect back on some times in our own story, in our own life, where maybe it's been chaotic. Maybe you have been in this time where you've felt overwhelmed, or maybe something really horrible was going on in your family or with a friend. And yet, even in that moment, there was still, you felt and sensed peace in your heart. So it isn't necessarily about circumstances getting all right. You can still experience peace when things aren't going great. And number 3, I think sometimes we believe that peace just magically happens, just gonna fall into your lap. But here's what I have found in my own life is that you've actually have to fight for peace. So there's so many things that are coming at us and that we experience on a daily life that is just wanting to disrupt our peace, wanting to shake that snow globe of our lives, and says, I don't want you to feel calm. I don't want you to feel good. I don't want you to feel hopeful. I want you to feel anxious and worried and stressed out and full of fear. And so we have to be committed to finding peace and experiencing peace and spiritual practices and trusting God and leaning into Him so that we can experience the deep wholeness of shalom. There's this beautiful story in Exodus about a guy named Moses, and you probably have heard of him. He was the prince of Egypt, and he ended up murdering somebody out of anger, and he had to flee Egypt. And he flees Egypt, and he's out in the wilderness for 40 years. And Moses is out there, and he moves from being a prince of Egypt to now he's a shepherd. And he's out in the wilderness, and he comes across a burning bush that wasn't being consumed by fire. And he realizes that God is in this burning bush, and now he's going to have this conversation with God. Yet this conversation with God is going to stress him out because God is going to ask him to do something he feels unqualified for. God's going to ask him to do something that he doesn't want to do. God's going to ask him to do something really scary that's not going to bring a lot of shalom to Moses. And we pick it up here in Exodus 3. It says this. It says, "But Moses said to God, 'Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt?'" You see, God is saying, Moses, I want you to go to Pharaoh. I want you to go back to Egypt, back to that place that you fled 40 years ago. And I want you to ask Pharaoh, the most powerful man in the world, to release the Israelites, to bring them out of Egypt. And God said, I will be with you. And that's such a key line here in experience me peace. And God says, hey, I know this is kind of an outrageous request. I know you don't want to do this. I know this is going to be hard and scary to go to Pharaoh and ask him to release the Israelites and to let them go. but I will be with you. If you're not experiencing peace right now, my guess is you feel like your life is up to you. Your problems, you have to bring all the solutions. That if it's gonna be, it's up to me kind of philosophy. But God says, I am with you. I mean, that's the whole point of the Advent, and the whole point of Jesus coming to earth is saying, I am with you. I am present with you. You see, we experience heavenly peace when we move from me focused to we focused. You will find peace in your life when you feel like, when you stop thinking that it's your responsibility to solve all the world's problems and all of your problems, that you got to do everything. But when you move to we focus, realizing that's you and God in partnership, then you will find more peace. See, heavenly peace is found in a heavenly partnership with God where God does the heavy lifting. Isn't that a good, and I like partners like that. I don't know if you've ever moved a house or had to like move furniture in your house. Several years ago, we moved into our house, and I remember we were on a 2-story, and I remember carrying a lot of furniture up the stairs. And there's a key to carrying furniture upstairs. You don't want to be the guy at the bottom, right? You want to be the guy at the top, because when you start going up on that angle with that heavy mattress or that heavy dresser, all that weight, when you start going up the stairs, comes back on you if you're the guy at the bottom. And so you kind of want to be at the guy at the top leading the way. And I sort of see this as like God say, hey, listen, we're gonna carry some stuff together. It might be difficult, it might be challenging, it might be hard, but I want you to put all that weight on me. The heaviest part, just let it lean back onto me. I'll take the bottom of the staircase position. Or maybe it's like when you're carrying stuff into the house, God's the one going, hey, I'll be the one walking backwards, because that's the harder part of this partnership, right? If you're the guy walking backwards, that's harder, especially if you're navigating anything like steps or anything like that. And so God says, hey, we're gonna be in partnership here, and it's not all on you. I wanna do the heavy lifting part too, but you get to play a part also. And we continue on in Exodus. Again, Moses is having this conversation with God, and he continues to protest. He says, but Moses protests again. What if they won't believe me or listen to me? What if they say the Lord never appeared to you? So basically, Moses is saying, yeah, but what if I get there and they don't believe that we had this conversation and that you're in this? And what if they like doubt me or don't believe me? and he's very, very worried about what people think. Then the Lord asked him, what is that in your hand? Goes on to say, a shepherd's staff, Moses replied. Throw it down on the ground. And when Moses throws it down on the ground, the shepherd's staff on the ground, it becomes a snake. See, God's basically saying, hey, who cares what they think? Who cares what they might say? I am God. I turn your shepherd's staff into snakes. I am all powerful. I got this. I know what I'm doing here. You can feel calm and peace about this, because I'm going to blow your mind. I'm going to do things that are going to surprise you. And I realize like you're stressed out right now, Moses, but I got this. See, Moses is really concerned about other people's opinions. He was really concerned about what other people might think, instead of maybe being concerned about what God said or what God is doing or how God was going to show up in that moment. You see, people-pleasing, when we're people-pleasing will destroy your heavenly peace. Man, you want to have a really stressed out 2021, just try to make everybody happy. You want to be pulling your hair out and filled with anxiety and worry. Just try to get people, to do what you want them to do and have them always like you and always agree with you. That's just a project that is waiting to just destroy your life. People pleasing is not going to create heavenly peace in your life. So part of experiencing peace and experiencing deep shalom would be to release other people's expectations of who we are and what we do. That maybe there's some things that God is inviting you into this year, that to step out in faith, that feel kind of like, I don't know, God. I'm not sure. What will people say? What will people do? What will they think of me? And God says, I'm here. I'm with you. I am all powerful. I am leading you on this incredible journey if you will only trust me. Ralph Waldo Emerson said this. He said, to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. God says, I created you. I designed you. I have given you a purpose for life. I'm going to open up doors for you this year, but I'm going to ask you to trust me and to believe that I'm with you, that I'm not going to just leave you hanging out to dry. I will do the heavy lifting here. That's how we're going to find peace. Story continues on with Moses. It says this in Exodus 4. Verse 13, but Moses again pleading, still protesting, still going like, God, not me, I don't want to do it. Moses again pleaded, Lord, please send anyone else. Still not convinced here, Moses. He's not ready to trust God yet. Then the Lord became angry with Moses. He said, all right, he said, what about your brother, Aaron the Levite? So God goes, all right, how about Aaron? I know he speaks well. And it says, and look, he is on his way to meet you now. Isn't that so cool? Like during this whole conversation that Moses has been having with God, God knew that Aaron was on his way. He's on his way to meet you now. He will be delighted to see you. See, one of the things that we can trust about God and the reason why we can lean into this heavenly peace that he offers us is because he is already working on whatever problems you might encounter. He's way ahead of you. He's bringing resources and solutions and people into your life, and he sees it all. He says, you know, I'm going to send, just with Moses, I'm going to send you somebody to help you. Don't worry, I got this. You can be calm. You don't have to be stressed out. You don't have to be worried. I see it all, and I'm going to provide you the things that you need for your life. I don't know if it's maybe just an opportunity, a job, some financial assistance, friends, whatever that need is, God is already working to provide that for you. We can trust that. You see, God is already working on the thing that has you worried. That's a beautiful promise. We can take that one to the bank. We can hold on to that, say like, whatever I'm worried about, whatever I'm laying in bed at night worried about, thinking about, stressing about, whatever that relationship is, whatever that relationship problem, whatever that stress is about work, whatever, problem, challenge, storm that I am in right now, God is working on my behalf. He's doing it right now. He sees the big picture. He sees me. He sees my need. He wants to bring me this heavenly peace, and I can have it. I'll close with this story. Many years ago, I used to be a hawker at Angel Stadium, where the baseball and the Angels play. And it's this big stadium, and a hawker is the guy that walks up and down the aisles, selling peanuts and hot dogs and things of that nature. But I didn't sell peanuts or hot dogs as a hawker. I sold souvenirs. And so I'd have to carry this big old basket of souvenirs strapped to my back, and this big old thing, and it had foam fingers and baseball bats and helmets and hats and programs. And it's like a walking souvenir store, basically. And so I would spend the entire game walking up and down aisles trying to get people to buy something from me. And I'd have this little kind of thing. I'd walk up the aisles, and every 5 to 10 seconds I'd go, souvenirs here, souvenirs, just hoping somebody would notice me, hoping that somebody would be interested in what I'm doing, hoping that maybe somebody would purchase a little bat or a little Angel's helmet or a little stuffed animal from my basket. And I would walk up and down the aisles, and it was hard, exhausting work. Man, I was in good shape after that summer of baseball and doing this job. And it was kind of thankless and hard. And the only thing that I wanted as I walked up and down and said, souvenirs here, was for somebody to notice, somebody to see, somebody to engage me, somebody to say like, yeah, Mike, I want what you got. Whatever's in that basket, I'll take one of those. See, I think a lot of times in our lives and what causes so much stress is that we believe that we're just on this journey with this big, heavy basket of stuff around our neck, trying to get somebody to pay attention, somebody to care, somebody to help us. And God's telling us right now, I see you, I hear you. Your problems, your challenges, your brokenness, your trauma, your pain, your anxiety, it matters to me. I see you. You don't have to keep yelling out souvenirs, or you don't have to trying to get my attention. You have my full attention right now. Just like Moses wasn't sure, he was scared, he was overwhelmed by the task, and God says, I'm here. I'm with you. I want to bring you shalom. I want to bring you heavenly peace today. He wanted it for Moses. He wants it for you. And what do we need to do? We need to claim it. We need to invite it in. We need to let God do the heavy lifting. We need to stop people pleasing. We need to, when our snow globe feels all shaken up, we need to hand it over to God to experience the heavenly peace, to experience this deep love of God that says, I see your problems. I want to help you. I'm here for you. Let's do this together. Let's bow our heads in prayer. God, thank you so much for entering into the world. God, to bring hope and joy and love and especially peace. And God, I pray for those right now who are really struggling, who feel overwhelmed, who maybe are losing hope because of the chaos that's going on. Maybe their hearts are filled with doubt. Maybe they feel that they've been abandoned. Maybe they're not sure what tomorrow brings. God, I pray that you bring your shalom, this peace that permeates every aspect of who we are. God, we trust you, and we know that you're working on our behalf, that you see the big picture, and that you love us so deeply, and that you want to bring us peace today. God, let us hold it, grab it, and bring it into our lives right now. It's in your Son's name we pray. Amen.
Promise for me like
future. You're the God of seasons, and I'm just in the winter. If all I know of harvest is that it's worth my patience, then if you're not done working, God, I'm not done waiting. You can see my promise even in the winter, 'cause you're the God of greatness, even in a manger. For all I know of seasons is that you take your time. You could have saved us in a second. Instead you sent a child. Though the winter is long, even richer the harvest it brings. Though my waiting prolongs, even greater your promise for me like a seed. I believe that my season will come when I finally see my tree. I believe there's a season to come. Like a seed you were sown for the sake of a song. From Bethlehem soil grew Calvary's sequoia.
Holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appears and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder brings a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voices, oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born. Truly he taught us to love one another. His law is love, and his gospel is peace. Chains shall he break, for the slave is our brother, and in his name all oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy in grateful chorus raise we, let all within us praise his holy name. Fall on your knees, oh, Christ was born.